Hey, this is your Master of Time and Space, letting you guys know that this is a special edition episode of Cripple Talks Comics. We did this episode in celebration of Aladrius' birthday, and it being special edition, we kind of go a little explicit and we kind of go on a little bit long, so just letting you guys know. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. Welcome back to the multiverse.
Thank you for tuning in to Cripple Talks Comics. I am the Cripple. This is where we get together and discuss comic books, storylines, characters, and all sorts of other things. My co-host Aladrius and our master of time and space, Zipside. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Welcome back to the center of the multiverse. This is Cripple Talks Comics, and today we will be discussing Young Avengers Volume 1 and 2. This is a special edition to celebrate Aladrius finally getting to read some of his favorite characters. And since you guys don't have a visual from the look on his face, it was everything he hoped and more.
So good. So good.
Why don't you tell our audience what we're covering specifically?
Specifically, we have the first complete collection, which is how many volumes?
It's 2 volumes.
2 volumes. And then we also have, well, I don't know if you wanted to cover Children's Crusade.
I feel like Children's Crusade should be its own special thing, because that story was completely...
So good. And I read even further than that, up to the point where it's like we're done with Hulkling and Wiccan being on the team. They moved on to the new Avengers. Really? I can't read your sign language.
This is you. This is the mic.
This is your face. This is the back of my head.
By the way, I noticed the last time we had a conversation with our Master of Time and Space, you guys can't pick up. So the person Aladrius is giving all the sass to is the Master of Time and Space.
Yeah, if I'm ever not addressing the cripple, just know that I'm addressing something
Say my name.
of time and space.
Bastion, say my name, Bastion.
Look, I ain't never gonna call you master. That's not happening.
Okay, wait, pause. Do you not know what I was
He's too young to. He's too young to have seen that.
What
movie.
am I too young for?
The never-ending story.
I've seen the never-ending story.
So you didn't get the. So did you get the reference I just made?
Yes,
Okay.
I chose to ignore it because never-ending story wasn't that great.
It wasn't.
But it didn't end.
That was all. That dragon, that dog dragon, gave
Don't
me.
you dare.
It gave me nightmares. It was fucking horrible.
Falcor was the best thing.
Oh no, the wolf. The wolf was.
gave me nightmares.
Well, yes.
I wanted. No, I was mad. That's what upset me. He didn't win. He didn't eat little white Moogly at the end of the thing.
Just that little white moogly.
What is the Indian?
That was not no.
Sorry, he was to be Native American. He was to be Native American.
He was native to somewhere, all right. I feel like it was somewhere over in Europe.
The second one, he was Native American.
Because they did a
Different actor?
And in the third one, he was as white as the pure driven snow.
Wait, was he even in?
It wasn't the same actor, same character.
Dear God, it really never ends.
I'm almost certain it was
Oh
the
no,
same
the third
character.
one had Jack Black in it.
It never ends. The
no, it
story
didn't.
truly
Yes.
never ends.
Did it?
Jack Black was part of the gang that
Don't-
made the nasty.
Oh my God, you're right.
That was Jack-
Young Jack Black was the leader of the bad people. Oh my Lord. Oh,
I still love the Rock with these big hands.
you're the only person that likes the rock people. I can't. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that emotionally. I had a crush on a princess, but it's cool.
Say my name.
Damn right.
Say it.
All 3 movies. All 3
The
movies.
bitch never had a name. Even though Bastion gave her a name, so she was like the childlike emperor. Childlike emperor.
Right.
Childlike empress. What is your name?
All right. I'm about to do the thing you supposed to be doing, and we back on topic. I just did your job. I just did your job. We went like way off the rails.
But I believe.
Right?
But I believe that the first 2 volumes that we're covering were written by Heinsberg.
Yeah, Heinsberg wrote the first 2 volumes, which is the complete collection, and then Children's Crusade. And I
Yes.
believe that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's because he it's all good things that I love. The authors or artists or writers or whatever just can never commit to something. And it's not saying that he's a bad guy or I don't like him, because to be honest, I love his stuff. I don't really know him personally. I just know that he's a bit of a flake. When it comes to, we would like you to do this, he goes, sure, I'll get as far done as I can possibly do, and then maybe we'll see.
And what Aladrius is talking about is there are certain writers for both companies who will write one or two things and then
be gone, you know, and so they have to get new writers, which makes Young Avengers really unique in the fact between the first 2 volumes, they quite literally only did tie-ins to other major events. They waited and held off on Children's Crusade until Heinsberg came back, because his writing is just that good.
Which was fantastically solid writing.
According to the special book that you guys got me, he's actually one of the writers that is ranked right alongside Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
And as anyone who knows anything about comics knows, that's one heck of a compliment. Mm-hmm. Because Stan Lee and Jack King Kirby were amazing.
So... And I mean, like I said, it's after reading the first 2 volumes, and I've technically read more than the Cripple on this because obviously they're my favorite characters, specifically with Wiccan and Hulkling. The other ones are entertaining, but the comic books don't focus on them enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I had to level 1 criticism, it would be that. It's the fact that it's not like Midnighter and Apollo. It doesn't focus on just Wiccan and Hulkling. It has all the other Avengers, but they somehow just focus on Wiccan and Hulkling.
Right.
Which is a shame, because after the first 2 volumes, their story, everyone's unique individual story, is a really good and well thought out.
Well, I'll be honest, there is legitimate character growth for pretty much everyone involved for the 2 volumes that the 2 volumes that I read. It was because I didn't like Eli, that would be a Patriot, in the first volume. I did not like him. I found him. I mean, he was still. It wasn't like he was a poorly written character, but as a person, you know, if I met him on the street, this guy was annoying and whiny, and then you in the second volume you go into why he is the way he is, and you're like, oh man, I feel your pain. Like,
I'm never going to get over that conversation between Captain America and Luke Cage, where Captain America is like, I'm gonna talk to his grandparents, and Luke Cage goes. And Superman. Oh, god damn it. My brain's not working. Spider-Man, sorry.
One of the mans.
Yeah, one of the mans starts with S. Spider-Man, he's sitting in the tower and he's all like, yeah, you don't know that black superhero? His name is Patriot. And Luke Cage goes, oh yeah, because there are just so many black superheroes. I lose track of their names. You're right. And then... And then Captain America immediately looks at him and goes, well, there's about to be one less. And Luke Cage is like, well, I'm sorry to hear about that. Just talk about a fight I would love to see.
That would be one heck of a fight. It would be interesting. But I gotta say, as far as Young Avengers goes, it was one of those things, a lot of people... a lot of, I guess, old school fans didn't like stuff that came out of the Joe Quesada era of Marvel. But to be honest, the Joe Quesada era of Marvel produced some really interesting stories.
Well, I guess they just don't like him because he's seen as the guy who sold out. But he had to do that
to keep them. What we're referring to is in the early 2000s, there was the big comic bust because people are idiots and don't know how collecting works. And believed that if you bought several of the same issue, regardless of who it would be worth money one day, for whatever reason. So the comic book industry, the bubble popped, like bubbles always do. And so basically the only company left are pretty much were the 2 big ones. And DC didn't have as hard a time, was still having a hard time because they had corporate backing from Warner Brothers. Marvel at the time was not corporately backed.
Because they sold out faster.
Yeah, they did, years ago. Well, Marvel did not have corporate backing at the time, so Joe Quesada, who was the head of Marvel, was the one who sold movie rights to Sony and to Fox and all these people, which is why we have the early 2000s superhero movies that we had, which I know a lot of fans are mad at him for, but to be honest, you had to keep the company out of bankruptcy.
I mean, and he didn't go as far as DC, if you want to look at it like that.
No.
I mean, DC went completely under the umbrella of Warner Brothers.
No.
And don't like him for that, whatever.
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, he didn't want to do that because he thought fans would get even more angry.
Right.
So it was specific IPs, intellectual properties, and I don't begrudge him that, trying to keep the company as independent as possible.
Well, especially since in that era of superhero movies, as much as we like to bash that whole era, and I'll admit I'm one of the people who does it occasionally, we didn't have a real template for superhero movies. They were only few and far between. You know, the 80s, one or two in the 90s.
All the old Superman movies.
Well, I mean, love them or hate them, we didn't have a template.
Not saying that I hated the guy that played Superman.
Christopher Reeves.
There you go. But I really didn't like the way they looked. I just didn't.
Well, that's because they were all Silver Age.
I know. Underwear on the outside.
Until Tim Burton showed up and said, "What's the Silver Age?" in the first two Batman films. They were like, "Let's do Silver Age Batman." Tim Burton said, "What's the Silver Age? It's the nice, clean." But no. Have you met me?
All my people are psycho.
I was going to say, have you met me? I'm Tim Burton. Everything's got to be dark. I wrote a movie about a bunny, and it's dark. I don't.
Everything.
But as far as that, the Young Avengers as a real, that whole era of Marvel to me was really solid. And Young Avengers is one of those things that when I went into research to be able to, when we all did, to be able to gift you these because you've been looking for them forever, I did a ton of research and I thought, man, it's gonna be really obscure because of those, the big gap between the volumes, and I didn't know the story about how great a writer he was. But they're not. They have. I can't even call them a cult following because their fan base is so strong online. They have such a strong.
When
fan
they
base.
came out, the Heinsberg wanted to do two things.
Yeah.
He wanted to break stereotypes, which he did.
Yeah.
And he wanted to give us a Marvel Teen Titans.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't as up on cartoons or comic books, when I was a kid, there was a show on Cartoon Network called Teen Titans with a bunch of young sidekicks that then would run off and not be not be sidekicks, they would be actual heroes. And that was DC's way of getting you to look at all these sidekicks and see them as heroes. Well, in Marvel doesn't really do stuff like that. The last time was like with Bucky before he was Winter Soldier.
They don't even do sidekicks really.
And so Heinsberg wanted to give us new heroes that weren't very well known and would leave you going, what the hell are these guys? Who are they? I don't understand. And then slowly introduce them to you and show that, oh, these kids are actually rather mature and grown up for their age. And the stuff that they handle are things that the adults don't want to handle. And we get that. I mean, at the very, very beginning of of all the issues of the run, you have J. Jonah Jameson, everyone's favorite asshole, sits there and his literal opening line are, "Who the hell are these kids?" And then you've got Jessica Jones, another one of my personal favorite superheroes, going, well, you know, they are such, such, and such. Although, apparently, I had no idea that her original, like, when in the Netflix show, when they pull out the costume of Jewel, that is making fun of her old superhero name.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with Jessica Jones, actress in Netflix. That was awful. That's so awful. It was so awful.
Well, even the character in the comics does not want to remember the era of Jewel.
Yeah, because she's pregnant at the time of the Young Avengers. She's just like, oh God, shoot me. I did not wear that. I did not wear that.
Well, and that's an interesting thing. If you haven't read them, because on the internet they have a strong fan base, but I recommend, and there are events that the second installation, Children Crusade, where you would need to know more, but in this first volume you really don't need to know much. It's fully accessible. You could pick it up by yourself. It's on, actually they're re-releasing it, a new print on Amazon in July.
I should also put out there that when they released their releasing year, they were one of the top grossing comic books.
Oh yeah.
And it's insane to me that they're that high up and yet we don't have anything.
Well, I know
Marvel just didn't
I've been doing a
support
lot of research because I've been really up in my game for this podcast, and there's a strong chunk of the fan base that there are enough crumbs to make it not just wishful thinking, who believe some form of film adaptation is coming.
But
the problem is that the breadcrumbs aren't in the same medium. There are some in the movieverse and there are some in the Netflix verse.
And the thing that kills me is that I know a lot of fans are desperate for these different heroes. And I mean, specifically, I'm desperate for gay superheroes on the big screen. People that we can take our young LGBT youth, show them you can be a superhero.
Right.
You know why? Because Wiccan and Hulkling are on that. Midnighter and Apollo are up there. The Ray is up there. But we can't do that, and I don't think that'll happen under Disney, because Disney is historic for being on the wrong side of the fence, or better yet, not even being on the side of the fence.
I will be honest, and I'm not really defending so much as just clarifying for the people on both sides of the argument who think Disney won't pick a side as far as that goes. And whatever your opinion on the diversity issue that we've talked about before, Disney not picking a side is more detrimental.
I will put this to adults that grew up when all of the 90s and later or earlier Disney movies came out with the princesses.
Yeah.
We had an Middle Eastern princess. Yeah. We had a Native American princess. We had a half-fish princess. We had all these different princesses, and they didn't put a black one out, not because Disney is specifically against African Americans, but because it was a hot topic here in America.
Yeah.
So they refused to release a movie that had an African American princess in it because they didn't want to be seen as too conservative or too liberal. And in my opinion, you gotta go somewhere. Well, you can't just sit on the fence.
Well, that's the biggest problem with doing that in general, with this topic or any other, is when you don't pick a direction, both sides think you're in it. And it's kind of the same problem. And I'm going to make a general call out, because it applies. I know we bring it up a lot, but again, this is our opinions. That's why you guys listen. As someone who's frustrated right now, you know what? One side of the fence, the other, that's your business. But this is generally out to most of, I guess we're part of the YouTube community now, so my fellow YouTubers, I feel like those of you who aren't picking a side, I'm not saying you have to, but aren't picking a side, but then are covertly sitting here giving any other excuse, that you're doing a detriment. And what I mean is, I've seen a lot of videos about this comment, and we're doing a Marvel thing, and everyone else has commented on it, so we're going to put our hats in the ring about this whole press release from Marvel. That press release was dumb. I cannot believe people allowed that individual to talk to people.
What we're talking about, or I believe what the Cripple is referring to, is the fact that Marvel said that diversity is killing their sales. Now,
No. This is the really frustrating part. Marvel said that we said. Marvel said the fans said. After you, Marvel said the fans
head of marketing, said that they saw sales go down and that people were blaming diversity. So therefore, 3 + 3 = 12, and that, because the fans are mad at diversity, therefore diversity is negatively impacting sales. But when you do further research into it, like me and the Cripple did a week ago, it turns out that the fact that Marvel is struggling is because they released 104 new titles and expected people to buy them all. That's a lot of money to spend every month on new titles.
Also, this is not me being a fanboy. You can look this up. It doesn't hurt that their prices are on average $1 to $2 more per issue than DC.
That, and people were already angry about the all new, all different not being all new or all different. It was the same old, same old. So, I mean, there are multiple facts. Diversity. Jane Foster Thor, the Mighty Thor, the one that we just covered, sold more copies in its lifespan so far than Thor God of Thunder, its predecessor. Right. Which had normal, white, straight, blonde Odin's son that everyone loves. She sold more than he did. It has nothing to do with diversity. And the fact that people continue to preach this just makes them a vocal minority, considering out of the top 10 selling titles in Marvel currently, only 3 are diverse. 7 are the same old that we're all used to.
Right.
So when people...
And the same goes with the bottom 10, only 1 diverse title was in the bottom 10. Which is, by the way,
made up of people like the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I'm not kidding. I had no idea that was I didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a thing.
But it goes back to the fact that since I love Young Avengers so much, specifically Heinsberg and what's her name? Or his name? The one who covered the second part.
Karen. I think Karen Jillian. I'll look it up.
And those versions of Young Avengers, they're equally diverse, and it's something that I love. I mean, again, it focuses a bit too much on Wiccan and Hulkling, which I love them. I really do. They're like one of my favorite comic book couples. But it's a team. It's not their personal series. I feel like there should be more emphasis on the other characters than just the OTP, basically. But it goes hand in hand with talking about diversity and the fact that they're completely a mixed match. You've got white people, you got black people, you got gay people. Well, you know, you got one white gay guy and you got another Jewish white gay guy who happen to be in a couple together. You have an alien that has no perceivable race or gender that applies to humans. So, I mean, you even got Miss America Chavez, who is, I believe, Latina. Even though they don't really cover whether or not, I mean, her name, obviously, America Chavez, but she comes from a place in which I doubt that that's an issue. And I believe from what they were saying in the comic books, she has 2 moms. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, though, that comic book series with Young Avengers and these characters sold amazingly well.
By the way, the reason I'm being so quiet is I'm trying to find to confirm that author's name.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's just, I hate all this drummed up bullshit controversy about the fact that diversity kills things, when in fact diversity brings people to the table. Remember, the fact that I didn't even give a crap about comic books until the Young Avengers, until Wiccan and Hulkling.
Right.
Those were what brought me in, and then you introduced me to Midnighter and Apollo, which are now my favorite DC couple. I mean, I'm sorry, but when I was a kid, I sympathized with the X-Men because I knew what it was like to be considered a freak growing up. I knew what it was like for people not to let me talk to them, not to want to be around me, because touching me was horrible, because talking to me was horrible, because listening to me was awful. But there was no one in the X-Men that was gay. There was no, even among the freaks, I was a freak. And that's the way I felt. And then now we've got like North Star died more times than he was actually cared for. And now Iceman is gay. But we got, I mean, and at the end of Young Avengers, Teddy, which is Hulkling, proposes to Wiccan. And then that was why Marvel rushed out the marriage between North Star and whoever he married. And I'm sorry if you're a North Star fan, I really am. But to me, he feels like a token. He was the only gay superhero for the longest time, and they kept killing him. Not to mention everything that had him in it, where he actually was romantic with someone, had an M rating on it because it's mature, because he's gay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know much about North Star. The only North Star I know is the old anime from the 80s.
And then, come to find out that in Old Man Logan, the movie Logan, Richter, the little Hispanic kid that can cause earthquakes, he's gay in Marvel. Yeah, with Shatterstar. I have no idea who they are. I'm intrigued though, but yeah, I don't really know. I know that they're both X-Men.
Also, on a side note, Old Man Logan was pretty darn good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. They killed Charles, which is not cool, ever. But you know, they killed Charles. Don't be looking at me weird.
Spoiler warning in there.
Oh, he's removing it. Yeah, I thought this was explicit.
Spoilers are apparently not covered under exclusivity.
Please, it's called decimation. Newsflash, they all die.
Wait, is this movie that now?
Yes.
You'll never know.
Anyway, but I have to agree with you as it was, and like I said, we can get back to the actual comic, but I just wanted to bring that up because I've been watching some videos lately, and I am not saying people are not welcome to their opinion, because this is America, and that's the whole point, and I'm glad, and you should always believe in what you believe. But my issue is, I don't even think, at least that a good chunk of the people who, and maybe it's just because I'm altruistic and like to believe that people are good somewhere in them, I don't believe at least a small chunk of the people who are claiming to be anti-diversity, maybe some of them believe this whole because I was reading and I've been listening to some things where they're claiming that Legacy's
the legacies were ruined, and that's why they don't like the characters. It seems like a cop-out because, as far as I'm concerned, Sam Wilson didn't ruin the legacy. He's been Cap's sidekick for like 30 years.
I love one of the messages they get across in Young Avengers that, you know, since we're going to also theme this around that. They meet Tommy, who is Speed. He basically has all of Quicksilver's powers, except a little bit more. And they keep trying to pressure him into changing his superhero name to Quicksilver. Because legacy. And like Tommy says, I don't give a shit about your legacy. And I kind of feel that way. I'm sorry, but Jane Foster Thor is only Thor because she wields Mjolnir. I mean, but as far as I'm concerned, she's still Jane Foster. She still has to deal with all of her problems. It should not be Captain America Sam Wilson. He is Captain America. He's not a side note. He's not, oh, here's another Spider-Man clone. He is Captain America, and instead they've given him a colon and then Sam Wilson. So we all know he's a subtitle. That to me angers me, but I don't get the whole argument about legacy.
Well, supposedly, and this is not me advocating it because every example I've heard about them humiliating a legacy does not apply, and by all means weigh in. I'm explaining the point of view, and the point of view supposedly is that they're okay with diverse heroes, but apparently when they set these up, they humiliated the legacy. I don't understand how that happened, because when Sam Wilson inherited the mantle, Cap was not a Nazi. That didn't happen.
He is now.
He is now.
He is now.
But he was. But they
looking at you, Marvel. He is now.
Well, exactly. But the thing that's been said online a million times is that they made him a Nazi and then they got somebody else better. No. He was already Captain America. Captain America was old, and yes, eventually the mantle had to be passed on. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What was the other one? They killed off Iron Man just for Riri. I kind of believe that was coming. I kind of believe
I'll admit that after looking at it, it seems a bit rushed. But then again, Marvel is pushing out an event every quarter of the year. I mean,
it seems like there's an event every quarter.
But I mean, so it looked a little rushed. But at the same time, I knew that Tony is a person. Tony is human, like you and me. He gonna get old, and he's gonna die. He's also not responsible enough to have kids, so he's never going to have kids. Plus, he's an asshole, so he probably would leave his fortune to somebody else, just to spite anybody who ever cared for him. Because he's... Iron Man, you know, the suit is the trash can, and he is trash. So that's all I'm saying. I don't really like him. But... I don't know. It's one of those things that, as far as I'm concerned, is diversity killing Rebirth? DC's Rebirth?
No.
DC has how many diverse characters thrown in there?
I can think of at least 4 off the top of my head.
So I'm just saying. I mean, look, we covered Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz. Neither one of them is white.
No.
For all we know, neither one of them is straight. We have no idea.
Actually, we have no idea about their romantic entanglements either way.
Nothing has been thrown at us as far as that is concerned. And I mean, as far as it didn't stop them from being good heroes. And DC's Rebirth, I think, is outselling Marvel currently.
If what I've heard recently is true, of the top 25 books, DC has like more than half, and Marvel has less than half.
It's just that it's the sheer volume. It's volume of releases.
Well, it's volume of releases, and if we're being honest, when you price your book almost 25% more than the other guy. Let's be honest, especially now that my income's tight. If I could still afford to buy the physical issues that I was, who am I gonna go? I can buy, if I bought 2 issues of Marvel, that's $10. Or for $9, I can buy 3 of DC.
Yeah.
And DC's releasing some of their books bi-monthly, so I don't have to wait 30 days for the next issue on all of them.
Like I say, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's the fact that Marvel is more concerned with its movieverse. Oh wait, no, that's a bit of me being just a little too much, too salty.
Well, no, I don't. I think that might be a factor, but I think the biggest issue is Marvel. Some of the character swaps were not thought all the way through. Riri probably should have been given a little more time. Now, by the way, I've been reading some reviews, and we got to cover her because she's actually pretty interesting.
I'm not opposed to it.
But Sam Wilson had every right to that shield. Another person I haven't heard much about, Camilla Khan, is really good. She's the new Miss Marvel. She's really cool. I don't like, I think I've said it before, I don't like the Totally Awesome Hulk. But that's because I'm a Bruce Banner.
Show.
But I'm a Bruce Banner fanboy, and I'll admit it. I would totally admit
Amadeus,
that.
Amadeus.
No.
Amadeus.
Hashtag not my Hulk.
Cho.
Not my Hulk. Now, if he wants to team up with my Hulk, they can team up. We'll have
Your Hulk is dead. We done killed
too soon.
him.
Too soon, bro.
No, it's not too soon. It's not too soon. We saw
That dude in a
coming.
Robin Hood outfit shot my Hulk, and nobody cared. Like, well, I was a lot of crying going on. Ain't nobody care about my struggle.
It's because Hulk just gets angry and kills people.
And another reason I went off on the tangent, besides this being a custom episode to celebrate you getting to read one of the ones you've been waiting, is apparently I've been reading and hearing that Marvel is launching Marvel Legacy now, which is supposed to return most of their legacy characters to their former glory. No. Okay, we'll see how that goes, but what bothers me even more, and I believe our Master of Time and Space is more familiar with comics, and as a newcomer to comics, you should be frustrated by this too. They're redoing their numbering system. They're going back to the original numbers before all new, all different. So if you've been reading...
See, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ignore all that shit, and I'm gonna go watch the new, or I'm gonna go read the new Avengers with Hulkling and Wiccan and Squirrel Girl and Speed and all them other people.
Also, by the way,
I have to get over the art.
I haven't looked into who's writing the new Avengers, but hats off for taking characters like White Tiger and stuff and putting them in there. Like characters who I had seen in small media be come into the forefront is really cool. And I don't just mean that about diversity. I just like some of these lesser known characters being brought to the forefront again. Because I thought, what was her name? Amaya? I want to say her name's Amaya. I like a White Tiger. I like Squirrel Girl's okay. She's cool. You know.
She
beat Dr. Doom.
She is equivalent to Deadpool. Okay, she is a character that is a joke character that is actually pretty damn scary. But let's face it, she is a joke character still. I mean, It doesn't mean she can't be awesome. It just means she is a joke character.
Exactly. And we got a request by one of our regular listeners to do Deadpool, so we will be covering Deadpool in a future episode.
Hey, I enjoyed when he was there for National Women's Day. Oh,
Are you serious?
if you question that, I'm not gonna say it right now. You should look that up. Google.
That would be the Deadpool movie. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. Maya, I believe was her name.
Ayala, Casper Cole, and she was
Ayala? Ava. That's the one.
She's the newest.
Yeah, that's the White Tiger I'm referring to, because I saw her, because I keep up on a lot of the animated stuff, and she was in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon series. By the way, Drake Bell, way to go, man. Like, I can't even remember the name. Yeah, he was the Peter Parker in that, and he was killer. Sadly, because I was young, I do not remember the voice actor from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon on Fox, but you carried that mantle really well. I honestly, he should be. After listening to that, after I grew up watching that, they've done several iterations before him. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out that you really picked that up and did some great stuff. But that's why I like we were here to talk about the young race. It's why I like taking these characters that people don't know about and that are well written and bringing them to the
I'm just a
forefront.
little sad that they don't get the kind of love I feel like they should, especially when they pull in the kind of money they do. I mean, let's face it, Iron Man, again, and Captain America, not Sam Wilson because he's new, but Steve Rogers, the one in the movies. Various things like that. I've heard these character stories, and then when you get done telling me, you reboot, and then you tell me all over again, and I'm like, I already know. I want these characters that we just now created, these new ones, these new heroes, Young Avengers. I'd love to see them.
Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch movies. That's Peter Parker.
Really?
From the movies.
Okay. Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch movies. Way to be the voice of Peter Parker for my
I can't support
childhood.
that. I can't support that.
This is Prince Eric in the Little Mermaid.
I can't support that.
You know, now that you say that, I hear it. What now? Why can't you support that? Why can't you support that?
Because I have
you
it on
loved that cartoon.
I have it on very good authority that in the Brady Bunch, the last ring were nothing but black people, and I can't support that.
What the?
Family Guy.
Oh my god.
Family Guy. Yeah, you haven't seen it. It's cool.
I'm not a big Family Guy watcher, so I'll have to look up that reference.
So bad. It's so bad.
After like season 5, I couldn't.
There are 5 seasons.
There are 10 seasons.
Oh
sir.
my
Look at your
God.
Netflix. Pull it up. There's
No,
like 10
I don't watch that shit on Netflix.
They got like 10, 13
I have
seasons.
seen very few. It was just a GIF that I saw once. GIF? GIF? You decide. But
You could argue it out in the comments. We won't stop you.
I don't know.
See, Jif to me is peanut butter. The faces you make are totally worth every moment of me.
Every moment of you?
Yes.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you, and I kind of feel like, and we're seeing it at least on the television screen as far as like them taking risks on lesser known heroes, because they actually put Ragman in this season of the Arrow, and there are exactly like 5 people who know who freaking Ragman is. Yeah.
You would be one of the 5.
Yeah. He's actually pretty cool. Quick summary: he's a DC character that basically wears these ancient robes that take in the souls of the wicked and punish them. And like I said, there's someone I hadn't heard of. This is all the same series. Wild Dog. I had to look that up. This dude in a hockey mask beating up people. Yeah, he's a DC character. Yeah, he's basically Casey Jones with guns. Like, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Wild Dog fans, but Casey Jones was first.
Sports master.
Sports, dude. Young
He wears
Justice.
is that a hockey mask?
Yes, that is a hockey mask. Young Justice Sports Master is pretty cool though. Everything for Young Justice.
He's still so fucking annoying. He's still so fucking annoying.
But so is Bane, and God, I can't stop hearing about Bane from people.
But he's so cool.
No, he's not.
He's
Shut
so
up.
awesome.
Nobody thinks
He's got
Bane's
so
awesome.
much power.
Your husband is the only
Raw
person.
power.
Your husband is the only man who thinks Bane is awesome. The only person.
In the new comics, it's not it's click. There's like a button.
Button on the back of his head.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a blowjob button, but different.
It's like
Entirely impractical.
He might want to censor that out.
I mean, it's totally practical. He's got fingers that are this thick and a button that is this. What you mean
That
impractical?
doesn't work on podcasts. No one knows what it is.
Okay, he's got his
He's got
fingers.
sausage fingers and a button the size of those little reset buttons on the back of the
No,
watch.
it's more like a pinprick. It's a pinprick button for his sausage meat hooks.
Also, apparently, his only weakness is a headbutt to the nose.
Yes, it's like a shark. You just punch them in the nose and they run away. I have it on very good authority that is what you do to sharks.
I feel like you should watch Mythbusters.
Do they get eaten by sharks?
No, they addressed the punching the shark in the nose.
Do they punch a shark in the nose?
I can't remember. They did an episode.
Kinda. No, fuck you. That's not a myth busted. That's a half-ass.
It's like kind of. It's more punching in the gills than hurt, but the nose.
That's like punching someone in the throat. No shit. I'm gonna eat you, club.
They only did it on small sharks, not for giant great white. When I say small sharks, I mean like shark that's about the size of a 7-year-old.
I feel like it's not myth busted unless you get lowered into a giant aquarium tank with a great white and you cut yourself a little bit so there's blood in the water so it's gonna come at you and then you punch it in the nose. And if it eats you, well, we know that that's not, a myth. That's true. But if you fight it off and it runs away, we know it's a myth. Hey, I'm fine.
I thought we were doing Young Avengers, not Aquaman.
Aqualad. I can't wait for the new Aqualad, the black one that is bi?
Gay, I believe.
Gay?
Bi in the show, gay in the comics.
Well, of course it's bi in the show because they wrote that bullshit about him and that girl.
What was her? Tiala?
Whatever.
She has some Atlantean name.
Fuck that bitch.
She was also the most Irish-looking Atlantean person I've ever seen. Her and Mira.
But
yeah, as back to the Young, as far as the Young Avengers go, it's one of the things I really like about it is in the problem. I agree that there's a little bit more focused on Wicked and Hulkling, but as far as characters, they're all well-rounded.
Oh yeah, he wrote all their backstories and everything. That's why Kate Bishop. Who's her dad, by the way? I feel like I should know that.
No, he's just some rich guy in New York. I don't believe he's actually anyone big. I think he's just a rich.
Okay, because I know that she was mugged and raped in a park while she was
in Central Park. In Central Park, she was on the way back from a soup kitchen.
And her and Jessica Jones bond over it because, again, if you've seen the Netflix show or even heard of Jessica Jones, she gets mind controlled by a man named the Purple Man, and he does things, bad things,
which
more than just rape.
Yes, it's pretty hard. The Purple Man, way to go, David Tennant, by the way, for bringing that creepy guy to life so effectively.
Thank God they didn't make him actually purple. I would have had issues.
Our master of time and space is still upset that man did not have purple skin.
You can't get 2 words.
I don't want to see.
Iron Fist.
Oh,
such a bad show.
I want the colors. I want all the colors. I want the entire costume.
it still won't make. Still won't make the TV show any good though.
Yeah, I'll admit the comic book isn't bad. The TV show was.
Which we will have to cover at some point because that was really bad. We talked about it. We'll probably be covering the first volume before the Immortal Weapons. So, and then doing a comparison to that really bad TV show. I feel like Kung Fu Hustle was a better Iron Fist movie.
Yes. No, quite literally. Yes.
No.
I will be in the podcast.
Yeah, we can. You have a third mic, right?
I do, but
Yeah.
I have no idea how to connect this. But once I get the mixer.
Okay, cool. Then remind me. We'll hold off till you get the mixer. But yeah. Kung Fu Hustle was a better Iron Fist movie. But as far as the Young Avengers go, none of them are specifically pandering to any groups, but at the same time, they hit issues that everyone in that age group goes for. You know, Kate Bishop deals with the sexual assault in Central Park. Eli has to deal with the weight of a family legacy because his father was the actual first Captain America, grandfather.
Not even a family legacy. No one even credits his. It's a myth.
Grandfather, yeah.
His grandfather is a myth because basically, when they went to inject Steve Rogers and everybody with that super serum, they injected a bunch of black people first to make sure it would work because this took place in World War II and black people couldn't, it took them a while to serve.
There was actually a whole unit in actual history, by the way, for those of you. Yeah.
And they actually injected these black men with this, and Isaiah, his grandfather, is the only man that survived all of that testing. And then when they found out, it worked, but it left him addled. Like, he can't put thoughts together clearly because of what the formula did. Then they realized, wait, now that it's safe, we can go ahead and start injecting into white people. And it was something that shocked me because I saw the movie. I saw Captain America, the movie, and they didn't do that shit in the movie. In the movie, he was like, I need somebody of pure heart. And I was just like, that's it? And then in the comic book, nah, motherfucker, they experimented on black people because fuck them people. And I'm just like, that's awful. No wonder nobody knows. It's fucking awful.
Again, and this is probably because I'm a history nut. One of the things I love about writers in general, not just comic book writers, but to me the better comic book writers are ones that take actual real life history and incorporate it into comics, because that happened. It's the same thing if you look at some of the history of Sinister. Mr. Sinister, one of the X-Men's villains, he was one of those people doing experimentations on minorities during World War II, trying to awaken mutant genes.
But I mean, I don't.
You should be able to plug it in.
They're all of the Young Avengers team are extremely well written. Cassie going through her parents' divorce and then having to deal with step douche. Because
by the way, the actor that plays that character in the movie, dude, you did a spot on job because that is
which movie?
In Ant-Man. That's the same guy.
Oh, really?
That's the same character. That is Cassie Lang. That is the same character. The little girl in the Ant-Man movie, for those of you who watch the movie, becomes Stature in the Young Avengers.
Holy crap.
And that is the same character. The stepdad in Ant-Man is the same stepdad.
He's such a douche, though.
Well, and I
hate superhumans because I'm a police officer and they make my dick look small. That's all it is. That's his entire issue with super people.
At the same time, at least his reasoning's a little better than J. Jonah Jameson.
No, apparently J. Jonah, the dumbass J. Jonah Jameson, liked Captain America, and he wanted to be Bucky, and then Captain America took Bucky behind World War II enemy lines, and Bucky got shot and killed because he was a kid, and suddenly, like Jay says, nobody wanted to be Bucky no more, and you know what? I don't think I would either. Little children get put in war zones and shot. That sounds awful to me.
But it happens. One of those things. To be honest, the only member of the team I didn't like was Iron Man.
Because you like the villain. But they explain how he gets to that point.
Yeah.
Because he does end up becoming Kang, and his mentality shifts more and more towards what Kang's is.
If you want a good representation of Kang the Conqueror, might I suggest the animated series Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes? I would say that they canceled it. It was really good in general, but that was a really good representation of actually the Purple Man too, but Kang the Conqueror. But yeah, like I said, the Young Avengers. I even liked that they had a young Vision and that all his memories had been reset. That was pretty cool. And like the Kathy him romance was
and they
pretty
bring
cool.
up like, it's not in that volume, it's in Children's Crusade, but it goes back to how awesome Heinsberg is as an author and a writer. The fact that you can take people's powers and still create moral issues, like with Wiccan, right? His power, not only is it magic, he can also manipulate reality. He can change it and alter it. And so one of their teammates brings up a very interesting point. What are the odds that a gay Jewish boy would be able to find a super powerful alien guy who goes to the same high school, is also gay, and is the most understanding boyfriend ever? Do you think maybe he might have manipulated reality and changed it a little bit to make you like him? And I'm just like, to me, it's one of those things that that thought had never crossed my mind. Never. Because me and Wiccan are kind of like that. We don't think to use our powers like that. And to bring that up, it's kind of like, oh my God, you just opened my eyes to a whole new way that I could have fucked with people with this power that I had never thought to do. It's probably why I don't have superpowers in real life, because I wouldn't know what to do with them if I got them.
I don't have superpowers in real life because I'm only allowed to have one set of superpowers according to comics.
Also, you're fucking evil.
Yep, generally.
You're just a hateful little man.
Oh, me? No. Not hateful.
Oh, yeah.
A good person.
You're so hateful.
I'm kind of a dick.
Kind of a dick. Ain't nobody got nothing nice to say about you.
You used to have nice stuff to say about me.
Really? Because I thought you was a dick.
You could be a dick and have nice stuff said about you.
Really?
People say nice shit about dicks all the time.
Well, yeah, I say nice things about dicks. But
I feel like that's not in the category of nice things. I feel like that's more a different, separate category.
that's for Cripple Talks Comics After Dark. That's what they call it.
After Dark. I guess this is our After Dark. By the way, at some point, if we can ever get a decent following, we should do one of those the lives with no video, just vocal. Because I've seen a couple of YouTubers do. They do live versions where people ask them questions right then and there. You go live on YouTube, and you actually answer questions and interact with people.
Holy crap! They won't be able to see my face.
No. We're gonna do no visual. We'll pick her up. We'll do a picture or something.
But I'll totally respond and do voices and whatnot. I'll speak.
He'll lend his voice to the podcast, Mr. Specific.
Or live stream. Look, something of time and space. Something. Yeah. You just.
I tell you what, when you get frustrated with him,
and you monitor the time stream, and we'll all be happy.
He's a watcher, the watcher.
Can I rip his eyes out? So gross.
I feel like we needed a camera specifically for that moment.
Just pounding it.
He does have some rather large eye sockets.
You know what? That's so gross. Wasn't his eye? How big were his eyes?
His eyes were freaking huge. His head was.
I remember his head being that big. I just assumed he had I thought he was fucking weird.
Like, his head is the size of one of Galactus's eyeballs. So I'm telling you, like, his eyes were huge. You could easily store like hidden objects in his head.
You want to talk about? We were talking about earlier before we went live about Norse gods not really being dead, and how to kill one. How do you kill Galactus? I've seen him die so many times.
No, you don't, because there's an event involving a guy called Abraxas, and then problems happen.
I've just seen him die so many times and come back.
People came out and said, none of this. He needs to be here. Don't fuck with him.
Oh, but the Beyonders can kill the Living Tribunal.
And then God Doom can kill them with the help of Doctor Strange and Molecule Man. Because Marvel gave him powers and then realized what that would mean in their physics, and then so they had to make him the most powerful being in all. Except for the one above all.
Jack Kirby.
Jack the King Kirby.
I'm not going to call him that.
I
will call him Mr. Kirby and Jack Kirby. I will not call him
Jack the King Kirby. Not Elvis, no. Elvis was not Jack. Also, Jack went over to DC and made the New Gods. He was proclaimed a god at Marvel, and then he went over to DC and made the New Gods.
I hope they make Apollo one of the gods from Midnighter and Apollo, because he's got some really strong abilities.
I don't think he's a new god, though.
I don't know.
I have to do more research.
Because they do god tech. They have god tech. Like all of that crap on
from
the
God
Garden.
Garden. Yes.
I don't know, which is a whole nother thing that we're going to talk about.
That'll be next week.
But
Well,
it's so
next
good.
cast.
It's basically my Hulkling and Wiccan from DC.
But they are most definitely rated mature for not the gay reason.
A bit of both, actually, because of all the sex. I mean, they don't show it per se, but they definitely don't leave anything to the imagination.
It's heavily implied.
And yeah, he has no problem being the better Batman by just breaking kneecaps.
We leave Batman alone. Look, we have a whole podcast devoted to your special OTP and your special team. Leave the
It's
Batman
not
alone.
just my OTP. I have two. I have that one. I have that one. What? Cockcast?
You didn't say podcast.
You said cockcast?
I didn't like.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain about a cockcast, but I'm just saying, maybe with
Make
not
sure
present
you note
company.
That this is uncensored.
Oh yeah, no, I'm making an announcement before this.
Okay.
It is explicit. Although, when I heard that, I was like, I cuss a lot. Like, I cuss a lot. Do you beep out my cussing, or do you just...
actually do? You have a natural.
You don't actually cuss all that much.
Really?
Like maybe twice.
Maybe it's because I'm
twice.
conscious that people are going to be listening to me.
I think so. It's the same thing with as sassy as you are with me. You tone it way down, and I don't even mean like with the curse words. I'm talking just the amount of responses. You tone it way down. I think it's part of that you're aware. But then again, the same thing happens with me because I don't riff quite as much as I would if we were just sitting around.
We're not as racist as we usually are.
Why
We're not as racist, homophobic, and ableist as we usually are.
I think that's
what
just
the
you.
hell is ableist?
He's trying to make something up.
I'm out of the whole loop. I don't know what that is.
He's trying to make something up like handicapable. Don't listen to him.
No, that's a fucking thing. Being an ableist, that is like we don't make fun of the handicapped because
That can't be a word.
Fucking thing.
By the way, I'm the crippled in the group, and I don't think that's a thing. I'm gonna Google that. Hang on, we gonna Google that. Talk about the Young Avengers a little bit more. I'm gonna Google that.
Ageism, of course, it's ableist.
Don't talk about dumb shit. Get back to the Young Avengers. I'm looking this shit up. We already said.
Speaking of that, that is one thing that I have not seen in comic books and diversity is a handicapped person.
The next time
I want to see a handicapped superhero.
The next time somebody says Charles Xavier, I'm gonna throw.
That's the only one. What other ones? Think of Oracle. But no, she's fixed now.
Yep, surgery, super special rich guy surgery.
So she's not handicapped. So who else?
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's a thing. That's a thing. I'm depressed. Fellow cripples, we should be very depressed if this is a thing.
Do you honestly think cripples listen to this?
Probably not.
There you go.
The fact that YouTube hasn't sent us angry messages surprises me.
Well, I don't even read any of that shit, so keep on commenting.
Well, I'm the one with the emails. The only one who's commented so far is their Master of Time and Space, which made me real sad. I got really excited that one of our videos had a comment and it was you.
Pity party.
I was like, woo, come on.
Whatever.
Bad face.
We do this for our own enjoyment.
This is true. We have a couple of loyal listeners, but yeah, as far as Young Avengers goes, it's a nice cross section. We've got some really interesting heroes. You've got some interesting twists and turns. I feel like, because we always say stuff like this anyway, I feel like since the guy who wrote this is more of a TV writer, the dude needs to call up Netflix and needs to go, well, these are the comic books I wrote.
People
Make me a TV series.
have been trying to get these guys on Netflix since before they announced the Defenders. It's not gonna happen. Like I said, Marvel just doesn't give the Young Avengers any kind of love.
Well,
Specifically not these characters, because like I went back and talked to you about the fact that gay content was given an M for mature, because they don't want to brainwash young children into being gay, because it's totally how that works. Newsflash, straight people, it's not. It's the fact that in the Young Avengers, when they kissed, when Billy and Teddy, Hulkling and Wiccan, had their own first kiss, it wasn't rated M. That was the first comic that did not have a rated M gay kiss. And I mean, that just and that happened what, in 2013, 14?
Depends. Which run were you reading?
I don't even remember.
Because Heiberg was like early 2000s, the first one, and then Children's Crusade was 2011, and then the latest one that your husband got
I think
you,
it might have been the latest one.
that was 2015, 2016. Yeah.
Might have been. But it took forever for Marvel to do that, to make that step forward. Marvel did the whole, because they're called the Defenders, right? That's the whole Hell's Kitchen crew.
Yeah, well, the Defenders have had a couple people on there. The Silver Surfer.
No, I'm talking about specifically
the one
these on Netflix.
Yeah, it's the Hell's
which
Kitchen
is
crew.
Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones.
And supposedly the Punisher. I don't know if that's true. I'm hearing rumors.
How the hell you gonna have the what does he defend? He murders. He murders quite well.
Who? Oh, who?
The one that nobody was shocked when she was part of the fist? The foot? The fist?
The hand.
The ear. What was she?
The
What?
appendix.
No, what was it literally?
The hand.
It's the hand.
Oh, it's the hand. Okay, shit.
The hand is the literal.
I thought you were being an ass.
No, I don't. There's too much. I don't.
I was though. Just so we're clear.
By the way, I can't believe that Chinese people still walk around in ceremonial Chinese garb when they work at a plant. That happened
in the Iron
the
Fist.
show. I was like, really? I was not aware that we all wore traditional garb. What, we?
We?
Like, I'm Chinese. Sorry, I'm not Chinese. I am not Chinese. I did not mean to throw that out there. Not even a little bit. Not even un poquito. No. Not that. Yeah, go back and
You
watch
also
it.
don't remember the blood bag.
No, he just wasn't paying
obvious
attention.
Blood bag.
Who
The
that
obvious blood bag.
When he got stabbed in the rain.
The squib or whatever.
Go back and watch. You will see the square blood bag. And he was holding it, obviously, to his chest, and then going, ugh, and like squeezing down the blood bag.
You have to understand. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say you can hear me. You have to understand. I checked out by the time they went back to the compound.
And you're the reason I had to watch that piece.
What
of
was
crap,
it?
'cause you told me
What was it you were
Iron
telling
Fist.
me? Cripple, you were telling me that that there was one person that commented that if you wanted to reach it to the end of that season, you had to want it.
Yeah, yes. That would let me go ahead and give credit to Fat Man on Batman with Kevin Smith, because I can't remember. I feel so bad. Please forgive me. The co-host, Marcus something. I cannot remember your last name. Please forgive me. Because Kevin Smith and him were doing a review, and Kevin said, yeah, he made a comment. And Kevin said, yeah, I made it to about episode 3, and then Marcus laughed, I made it to 12, and then Kevin goes, you really had to want that. Like you had,
I think there are 13 total.
yeah, and that's what Marcus said. He sat there watching it, and Kevin said, you must have wanted that.
I gave it everything, all the way up until the very last episode when I knew who the villain was going to be from episode 1, which is how bad that writing is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're going to have somebody like the Purple Man, okay? Somebody to like be big villain, then why the hell are you showing me this random I see why you're showing me random person, even though we know who the villain is over here. You're showing me random person because that's the real villain.
Well, I know nothing. I know very little about Iron Fist, but I've seen Madame Gao in the last 2 Netflix series she was in. I was like, this is the Iron
They
Fist
gave
main
you a
villain.
really good villain, and then you were just like, shit on it. Madam Gao, I can flick somebody, like flick the air, and you go flying out the window. Then turns out she's beat by knockout gas.
we might have to just call this like the Marvel mashup as opposed to Young Avengers because we've been talking about.
Well, okay, to be honest though, the Young Avengers is really good, but there's only so much I can talk about with just those first 2 volumes.
Because if you want to discuss the rest of it, you can. I just won't be able to weigh in because I haven't read much.
Well, that's why I'm leaning off of it. It's really good, and I understand that my fanboy is showing.
Right.
I love it that much. Like afterwards, after finishing all, it wasn't enough. It left an empty hole. I needed more. Like I needed. Shut up, both of you. Both of you. Shut up. I needed more content. Shut up. And so
I love how we don't have to. I wonder if the silence.
No,
will
you're both
communicate our
thinking it.
looks.
You're both thinking it. I can hear your thoughts. I know you're thinking it. Fuck off. Was I right? I feel like I was right.
You feel a lot of things.
How would you know?
You talk about it.
Maybe. Un poquito. It's Spanish for a little bit.
Come on. Context clues, dude. Master of Time and Space. It's called context clues. I have to break you back to like 4th grade English.
Yeah, that didn't even. No. That didn't even go over. That went.
Context clues.
That hit your forehead. That didn't even go over your head. It just hit your forehead.
It's okay, because when we cover, you talk about this, when we start covering some of the Bat
You
family
just mad
stuff.
because you got a 5 head, not a 4 head.
And now, just so you know,
He had to prove it.
in response to that comment, the Master of Time and Space is putting all of his fingers on his forehead to measure out.
He's so self-conscious.
He really is.
Oh, because my balls. Oh. I thought it was-
No, he didn't mention the fact that you could take out ads on your forehead and probably make a little money. I did, though.
Damn.
You talking to me or Aladrius?
Oh, well, actually, both of you kind of got advertised space. You just happen to comb a little hair in front of it.
Well,
Aladrius.
you can't. They can't advertise because nobody would see it. You wobble everywhere. You couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep up. Back on point.
Back
what
on
the
point.
fuck was the point?
The point was the Young Avengers was
There's
good.
just not. It's really good, and I suggest that if you're curious at all to go read it. I understand that because of the main couple and a few of the side characters, it may not be for everyone, but they're really interesting characters.
Let me put it this way. If you're a fan of the Teen Titans, not even just the cartoon, if you're the fan of the Teen Titans comics or cartoons, this is a book for you.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of rich characters in complex social situations for that age group, and it's really gonna bring it together for you. I mean, to be honest, these guys are more interesting than the standard Avengers. Personally, it's not like I hate the Avengers, but you want to talk about interesting? I read it because he had talked about wanting to read it. I read it on the Marvel Unlimited app, and I couldn't stop until I had finished the first 2 volumes. That the story just grabs you and you just go.
And I had everything sitting in front of me last weekend, and I was just like,
Because I think we bought it for you on Sunday. And what day did you finish it?
Monday.
And by
All
the
of
way,
it.
folks, we're talking.
And I do have a day job.
He does have a day job, and we're talking 15 issues for the third run. The Children's Crusade's at least 12 issues altogether.
so.
And then the first one's 14 issues, so we're talking a good 20 plus issues. And you read that in a day's time
Yep.
with the job. So that should tell you guys how good the storytelling is. I mean, to be honest, I wish we saw. I know that America is on a new team now.
A lot of them are. Some of them were just dropped. Like, obviously, a few of the characters come and go for a reason or two.
Yeah.
There is...
I haven't seen Patriot in anything, so I don't know.
No, he quit.
Okay, he's okay.
Spoiler.
Spoilers.
But one of them is an alien, and obviously being an alien, he can't really stick around. And another one is Loki. And Loki just can't stick around on the team. I mean, he's got to go be Loki and get his head knocked off by another person. So, you know. And then Hulkling and Wiccan went from the Young Avengers to the new Avengers, I want to
Yes.
say. With
They're on-
Squirrel Girl and...
White Tiger. I want to say Power Man, or the new Power Man, or Power something.
Sweet Christmas.
Some Sweet Hanukkah.
Harambe.
Thank you.
Look, I'm perfectly-
Thank you, Kwanzaa bot.
I'm completely fine with people sending in hate mail because I won't read it. So,
Why are you leaving? You know I'm gonna have to read it.
Why are you gonna have to read it?
Because I gotta check our email. Somebody has
Look,
to.
if you write hate mail, put in the subject hate mail. That way
the
I
Master of
know.
Time and Space said he gonna read it. Okay.
No, I'm saying I have your email on my phone. I know everything that comes in.
I do too. I have Cripple Talks Comics directly to my phone.
That's not creepy at all.
Part of it.
I'm part of it too. I don't need none of that.
You don't care.
Exactly.
We are friends. But as far as your fanboying, you shouldn't feel too bad because once we start covering the Bat Family, it's bound to happen. And we have to eventually before you give me that look.
No, I'm okay with the Bat Family because Nightwing's in it.
You mean what has been dubbed the best ass in comics? Apparently, our Master of Time and Space believes it is Hawkeye from the Avengers.
The only one I might have entertained was Daredevil, and the only reason is because of how many times they zoom up on that ass. They specifically give that ass muscle and definition, and I don't know why. And then they're like, "Yeah, no gay characters." You're sending me mixed I'm confused. Well, I never.
I'm just upset.
He also didn't have a costume. Iron Fist also does not have a costume.
Not in the show.
No, in the comics, he has a very nice costume.
No sense! If you're gonna be a hero and you are the face of a giant fucking company, you need a mask, motherfucker.
Not
I'm
Danny.
not upset.
Not Danny
upset at
Rand.
all.
Not Danny Rand.
If
Hey,
you like the
no.
Steve
Wait a second. If you, well, I mean, aside from not from being like a person of a major company, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones don't wear costumes.
Because they're street level people. They don't have anywhere in the limelight. That's the difference.
Neither does Murdoch.
Exactly. But he deals with more people.
If you tell me that he's a good attorney, I will ask you when and where because
In the comics, he's a good attorney.
In the comics, in the show, he only did like one. That was at the very beginning before he became a Daredevil. Then in Punisher's fucking trial, whatever the fuck that was, he was supposed to represent Punisher, and he just was never there.
Foggy at that though.
That was like the most boring, pointless thing. I hated that show. I hate that as much as I hate Iron Fist.
I like Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin.
The only good thing, because we know it ain't Elektra.
We haven't seen a good live action Elektra ever.
Because, no, I'm not gonna say it. I would say because she's not interesting, but you know she's not interesting.
Don't you know my wife's in the other room? She loves her some Elektra.
No, there's a character in Young Avengers called Prodigy. He stole, whenever he touches people, his mutant power was to steal their knowledge. Not their powers, their knowledge. And he was like, it's not bad. It's not all great either, but it's not bad. And so people call him for technical support, and these ninjas call him, and they're like, we're gonna fight Elektra. And he goes, with what? And they're like, you know, swords. And he goes, no, size beat swords all the time. Throw the size away, throw the swords away, get something like a chain that can catch it and pull it out, and then all of you beat ass together. And he goes, no, I don't give a shit about ancient arts of ninjutsu. Beat ass together. Just like, oh my god, I love this dude. No. They were talking about whether or not they should challenge her like on a one-on-one fight.
basis.
And he goes, no, hell no. Just all of you jump in. Look, do you want to be a dead ninja? Or maybe I get to live today ninja? Which one works for you? I don't know. I have not seen a very good Elektra.
Like that. In the comics, she's not bad.
And I think she joins the Defenders at some point. Kind of, if maybe.
There's a lot of people that join the Defenders. Like I said, the whole.
Wasn't that like Jessica Jones? In, out, in, out.
No, that was Luke Cage.
But I mean, I don't know with
Just left because she got tired of being a hero and she got pregnant. So
Because of the in out.
I just
That's why she left.
You can call this fiddle faddle and get back.
Fiddle faddle.
What?
Fiddle faddle. It's in the comics. That's what Luke Cage says. 'Cause
Jesus,
Jessica says
sweet Christmas.
Jessica says he can't cuss anymore. And Daddy keeps asking him why he keeps saying fiddle faddle. Jessica told me I cuss too much.
Jessica cusses too much.
which is what Danny said in the comic.
Wow.
Danny, wait,
Just
Jessica.
the baby is getting older, and in the comics, Luke Cage curses a lot. Like, I love what they did with Luke Cage in the Netflix series, but they made him a little bit too. I'm for the people. No, he's for the people, but he's also a hood dude. So there's a lot of cursing, and like with the babies, I can't curse anymore. So still a battle.
What is does their baby have like, what's its powers?
Nothing.
Nothing yet.
Really?
Nothing yet.
It needs to be, I don't know.
We're waiting.
She's not Hope Summers.
But don't flinch.
He was at the pin at me. Yeah, I'm on flinch.
He was not gonna throw no pin at you. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'd love to have a series or a movie of Wiccan and Hulkling or the Young Avengers.
Somebody brought up an adult animated series as an option online. I personally would like to see a live action adaptation, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it as long as you get the good voice cast.
I don't know. I want actual characters. I want to see actual people. I don't want them to be relegated to 2D characters. It'd be different if it was like, okay, they got live action and now they're doing an animated movie. That's fine with me. They do that with Batman all the time. They do that with Justice League all the time. But I want actual characters. I want to be able to see these actors play these characters. Don't know who the fuck I'd cast for these characters, but I'd love.
We already had that conversation.
Well, that was for Apollo and Midnighter.
That's true.
And yeah.
Here's the thing. First off, her name is Danielle Jones Cage. So Jessica Jones hyphenated her name.
Hell yeah.
And two, she is actually named after Iron Fist. It's in here. He named her after Iron Fist. They're good friends.
No,
So,
that's
wait. Is your
friend.
daughter going to be called?
Canon, yes. I know where you're going. Yes. In head canon, yes.
good friends. Me and my husband are very good friends. Yeah.
Once again, that hand gesture you were just doing does not translate good to
Well, that was mostly for you.
Okay.
But no, for the audience, yes. We define Luke Cage and Danny Rand's relationship as the same in the same category that we define mine with my husband. Very good friends.
Also, they hired Squirrel as
I'm just as confused as you.
that face was.
Well, why would you want disease-ridden rodents taking care of your child? Squirrels are evil, by the way. Dude, I went to school at Lamar. Squirrels
She's
are
evil. She's either the most powerful druid alive or highly insane.
Oh, you mean Cinderella?
Squirrel Girl, Cinderella. They both have rodent friends. All the time.
All the
And
time.
apparently they're ghosts. Squirrel Girl, girl. You need to take your medication. Nobody likes you when you're off your medication.
Does anyone know if that's an actual tale or if that's part of the costume?
No.
I was just
She is
thinking that.
she is a mutate. She is what Spider-Man is.
Okay, so that's an actual tale.
Those
Okay.
teeth and those claws and everything, that's all her.
Okay. Well,
Just like Spider-Man.
that's I don't like the genetic web slinger things that Tobey Maguire had. No. That was, to be honest, that was my only real complaint.
Is that in the new comics?
No.
So he still has the
I
weird.
believe Scarlet Spider had natural web. So one of the Spider,
Miles have natural web?
maybe. I know he, has Stinger.
He can also sting and go invisible.
Miles may have natural web. Yes, he can go
camouflage.
invisible. Yes.
He can camouflage.
I know about stingers, but not the.
Yeah, he can camouflage. Miles is a badass. Miles does not get nearly enough love. While we're on the subject of Marvel characters that do not get enough love.
Because they put all the, stupid shit out there, and then they go, oh, well, we don't need the actually interesting characters.
Well, and that's another thing, and I realize I'm fanboying, and y'all can call me out of it. That's another thing I like about Rebirth. They're taking some of these characters that I did.
That's the best thing coming out of Rebirth right now.
Oh, come on now. I'm not that bad.
Best thing coming out of Rebirth.
I
is
mean, I don't even
Rebirth.
like Deathstroke. They gave him his own freaking comic or whatever.
They are.
Haha! I might.
I don't know.
see
The
that.
actor you like is playing him.
Ron Perlman?
Alcide from True Blood.
We'll see.
I would prefer Ron Perlman, but I think he's getting too old. Sadly.
Have you seen what
No, I'm with
would
you.
Deathstroke look like underneath
no,
the mask?
I'm with you, but
He an
telling
old
you,
dude.
I'm telling you what people online have said. I'm with it. I like Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman voiced the best Deathstroke ever. Because, nobody else really cares about Deathstroke. Well, yeah.
I felt
Deathstroke.
bad, but
The
I-
Terminator.
You mean Slade?
Oh, that's right. They couldn't call him Deathstroke in the cartoon, could they?
That was the only good thing about Deathstroke was Slade.
But I don't know. I felt that way about
They
Deadshot.
do it. I'm trying to remember.
They can't say death.
Oh, that's right.
I felt that way about Deadshot until I saw Will Smith play him.
He did a really good
It was like
Deathshot.
there were only two good things that came out that movie: the actress that played Amanda Waller, because goddamn she was an evil bitch, and two, Will Smith for playing
I'm
Deadshot.
still sad the voice actress that played her in the cartoons couldn't reprise her role because she did it in the TV series.
Yeah.
And if you've seen her, I don't know how many of our listeners have seen Warehouse 13, but the lady that plays Mrs. Ferguson on Warehouse 13 voices Amanda Waller in every cartoon appearance, and she looks the part. She
They
looks
could
like
have just
Amanda Waller.
what is it, the CG mocap thing that they do with dead people,
Yeah.
but aged her.
That's what I was hoping they were going to do, the age down, because they did it to, didn't they do it to
Jeff Bridges.
Yep.
For Tron.
For Tron.
And he came back and did Tron. But he was old Tron, he was already in the game. His son and
Don't
whatever
try and
the hell that
explain the
piece of
plot
ass
for Tron.
was, decided to go
That's a
save him.
podcast we ought to tack onto this, explaining complicated properties like Tron.
Oh goddamn. It's not too complicated. I mean, I didn't quite understand where the fuck they were going in the remake of Tron with Jeff Bridges being in the thing, and then Tron himself, the thing it's named Tron, being evil. And then he just kind of deactivates at the end. And I'm just like,
Well, technically, supposedly his light turned blue at the last split second, and he's redeemed. The entire thing
what
is
is this, Dark Souls?
No.
What?
The entire thing is a Bible metaphor. I'm serious. Dude, rewatch that movie. There are so many biblical metaphors in Tron, it's not even funny. The second one, so many. He falls into the water, and then all his evil goes away, and he glows blue.
We're at 1 hour 26 minutes.
Are we really?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna cut it at 1:30 seconds. I'll explain Tron to you.
Okay.
But I realized this one was a bit bouncing around, but Young Avengers, there's really not much to complain about. The art was good, the
only
writing was
thing,
good.
like I said, the only thing I complain about. Well, okay, one thing as far as the writing goes is that it's about a team. The team is well defined. They're all different in their individuality, and they all have different arcs that really hit home with the reader that they identify with. But the main arcs always seem to focus around Wiccan and Hulkling. And I wish that they had kind of if he was going to do that for Children's Crusade, if he had just made the first 2 volumes about somebody else.
Right.
Because I love gay characters, but if it's a team, I like everyone to have equal exposure.
Right, you want equality, not supremacy.
Hence the reason I would love for them to give Wiccan and Hulkling a Apollo and Midnighter copy, to have just their own thing. I'd be fine with that because that would be amazing. But
Well, my OTP died, half, and then the other half was reset.
But what happened the other thing that I hate about Young Avengers is the fact that Marvel gave them no love. It gave them enough to get them their 2 volumes, Children's Crusade, and then the following, a few tie-ins. They had a lot of tie-ins, but those aren't full-on.
Yeah. They were tied into every major event.
Oh yeah, they were pivotal. Well, okay, Hulkling was pivotal in Civil War for what he did when he shape-changed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would love for them to have more things, for them to be nice. I also don't like the new Avengers with the new art.
I need to look
Jesus.
up. I don't know who does that art, but it's not Chung. Who is the artist for the Young Avengers?
Because
The first one. I don't know who did
Wiccan
the
is a
second one.
lanky nerd. I love him. He's a boy after my own heart, but he is lanky, and he is a nerd, and he loves musicals. And then in new Avengers, he's this giant, muscular dude, and I'm like, where did this guy come from? Who is this? Like, who are you? I don't know you. Because Teddy was supposed to be the really big muscular one, and now he's like really big. Like his hand is the size of a person. It's creepy. But those are, as far as the story goes, I love the story. I don't have anything to complain about the story. I love the characters. I wish I could have more of these characters than just what I have. I wish that there was way more because I loved reading about them. I sat down and read them in a day and a half because I got addicted.
And like I said, I completely agree with you. It's really great. Now, like I said, it wasn't Wicked and Holy that drew me to them, but I mean, they're solid. They're a solid couple. It's a solid team. Some more love would be great. And I mean, like I said, we really recommend you guys pick it up. It's on Amazon. If nothing else, it's on Marvel Unlimited. We keep plugging it every week when we do Marvel. I'm telling you guys now, $10 a month.
The whole thing.
I mean,
everything I read, everything
is all you can beginning to end, and I mean, it's fantastic. And I think that'll wrap us up, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope we piqued your interest. Any questions or comments, you know how to get a hold of us. And next week we will be covering Midnighter from DC.
This is your master of time and space, thanking you for listening to the Cripple Talks Comics podcast. If you have any questions or suggestions for us, go ahead and send us an email at crippletalkscomics@gmail.com. That's crippletalkscomics@gmail.com. For more content, check out www.rebelsaga.com, where we cover conventions, video games, anime, and more. You can listen to this and all other archived podcasts at iTunes, Stitcher, and rebelsaga.com. That's iTunes, Stitcher, and rebelsaga.com.